That's probably recorded forever.
What?
I mean, you could just watch Shrek and just watch that over
We,
and over.
we
and
could, or we could not.
You don't know how do you know what I do on my Sundays?
Well,
Well, you don't
the
text.
years stop coming and they don't stop coming.
Yep.
Don't let it set in.
Yeah. In addition to Smash Mouth references, we're actually here to play Dungeons and Dragons. Now, last time, our intrepid adventurers had a lot of talking with the voice, and discovered she had a small drinking problem with water that could erase her memory. So she did that so she wouldn't have to snitch on you guys should the Emperor actually ask stuff. Now, you guys had gotten a golden coin to be given to the Golden Lotus, one of the most secure and upscale tea houses in the capital, with the idea that once you gave the gold coin, they would prepare a room, and then various people from various factions in the capital would come to speak with you privately, so that you can explain your, I guess, process for, what you want to do for this upcoming probable civil war. Seeing how you guys are neck deep in it, despite the fact that you've barely been at the court doing your jobs for the past month.
You keep saying that like it's a bad thing.
Yep.
Why can't we get paid for not doing our jobs? Come on. Also, where's my paycheck, by the way?
I took
good
time
point.
off.
What is our
all of
pay,
you always
actually?
had unlimited time off,
Like-
but you don't get paid for it.
We paid like a gold a day, 100 gold a day. Like I don't know what is our time worth?
Apparently nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing. Nada.
I was never paid.
You just did it for the joy it brought you.
I mean, they were probably hoping you die during a mission, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
But you also got to loot during your mission.
Yep.
And so we have ended up here, you guys having thanked the voice, and her having warned you that should the Civil War happen and she meet you, she will likely have to legitimately attempt to kill you. And she's sorry for that, but an oath is an oath. Now, you guys still have 1, 2, 3, 4 days until the Amulet of Talmec is ready. And also, on that same day, the General Yang and General Hiru are likely going to be arrested for treason, and likely tried on the same day. The beauty of truth magic and whatnot is that you can kind of do that.
That just seems like bad time management on their part.
Well, it's just all of these are rumors that you're getting from both Cadalatrix and the Voice. Nothing is set in stone because the Emperor's keeping most of his moves close to his heart, or the Emperor's hand, which are his personal, assassin peoples.
Did we ever talk about going after his assassin people?
No. Didn't talk about that. Though I don't know, at this point the assassin people might just come to you.
I mean, that's fair. But that's if someone came to us for once. God.
That'd be way more convenient.
Can you die on our turf instead of us on your turf for once?
Well, you gotta admit, it's hard to find those.
That's true.
That's fair. Yeah, we don't have a.
They're always popping in, popping out.
We had just
Anyone
like
trying to pursue you on foot or by animal is going to be very frustrated.
Yeah. It's easier to just wait for us to appear the places they know we're going to appear. Like, we're going to come back to the capital at some point, probably.
But what if they get
Yeah, but
The
tired?
capital is
pretty
also a
big.
huge city of 1 million people.
Yeah, we got a big bird. It's pretty obvious.
Not if we teleport.
I mean, we still teleport to the outskirts. We aren't, like, popping in next to the castle and being like, hello.
Next to your favorite hot dog stand.
Oh man, if they ever fucked with that
Sorry,
stand.
dumpling stand.
Okay,
on, they
so
had
we
hot
can all
dogs in
agree,
this
though,
one.
that
Do you really think
it's canon
that
now, actually. I'm sorry.
it's canon now that there's hot dog stands and this fantasy?
Okay.
So you're saying magic's
India,
real, but not
China.
hot dogs? Fuck you.
If we had episode titles, that would be the episode title.
Okay, Ian, we're going to go
Hot
to this
dogs
tea
are
place,
canon.
right? We're going to go to this tea place.
Yes.
Can we just retcon that a bit and it's like, it's the hot dog stand that we go to?
It's a tea house. It's a big building.
Okay, well, this is a hot dog stand house.
They will have hot dogs inside, but that's not the main reason why people go to a tea house. It's more for the social conversing part of it.
No, actually, Ian, I'm going to need you to describe all the food in ridiculous detail. Like,
Okay,
I'm
what
just
you
here
want
for
me
the
to
food
J.R.R.
conversation.
Martin this?
Yep.
Or I
that's-
just sort of, okay, guys, get ready for a 20-minute explanation of the tea ceremony that
Okay.
will be...
Excellent.
And the audience is
Can I go get ice cream first?
and the audience is gone.
And it was already gone.
It was never
The
there to
moment I
begin
mentioned
with.
Hot dogs. Now, so the tea house called the Golden Lotus because it's the closest thing you're going to get to a generic high-end tavern name in fantasy China. Is there, but I imagine that you guys want to rest the night before you start seeing all the factions. Also, the factions would probably need a small notice that you're there so they can scramble up someone to actually see you. The Golden Lotus will take care of that, but you need to give in the coin to effectively engage their services.
Makes sense.
So drop off the coin? And, like, how late in the day is it at this point?
It's around 5 p.m. The sun
got-
is starting to get lower. The city is starting to... I guess the day traffic is starting to disappear and the night traffic is starting to trickle onto the street. There are a lot of patrols of guards going around, but no one's wearing any... It's still part of the month of mourning. So everyone is in relatively drab colors, although some people are getting away with dull greens and blues. Now
So
that-
bold.
Traitors.
Hey, earlier at the first part of the month of mourning, there were crackdowns. Now
Yep.
it seems like things have eased off.
Alright, I guess we could take this time and talk to our pawns, send them to the right places.
Yeah,
I suppose
so
I can have...
your pawns. What are you going to try to move them all to a central place?
Thought we decided this last time.
Yes.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly, but I want you guys to cement what you're going to do.
Okay.
In the evening.
I've Moscus's appeal to my sense of saving the little ones, and so I will
And the
send
mentally
my
ill.
pawn to the orphanages. Also, to make sure they're not being indoctrinated too badly. You know, it's a
Okay.
cleric of a different and less scary mad god. Hopefully,
You talking shit about my
Pawns.
god, Onan?
Where is everyone sending their pawns then?
Yes, because Alexander was not here. Alexander, your pawn is currently probably in the most dangerous position
Yeah.
because she's part of the military. And you're direct subordinate. And you haven't picked a side.
So easy when you put it like that.
Haven't picked a side by ass. Okay.
Well, you haven't made it official. And so people, now your pawn still has finished her mission to you, and you need to,
Mhm.
and you
Send.
have been. You actually weren't there for the voice today. You were doing your mission.
Okay.
And so you kind of meet up with the party at 5-ish.
That echo.
Yeah, that echo though.
Is that me?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's you.
If you just turn your volume
Good.
down, like your audio down, it shouldn't echo so bad.
And
Okay, just a second.
I believe in the slight echo of my voice.
Does it believe in you?
Well, it does because it's my voice.
I don't know.
Oh, I can finally see what my voice changer does. Let me open that up.
Shit. Alexandra, quick.
I'm going. Shit.
How cruel.
Better?
Let me see. Can I talk and not have the echo?
Yeah. Apparently.
Hooray.
Hooray!
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Level up.
No.
Yeah.
You don't get to level up off of just that, okay? I understand it's been like 37 sessions and you've only leveled up 3 times. But we already started high level, okay? I didn't feel like I needed to accelerate you
We're fine.
in the part of the game.
Why am I not level 25 by now? Come on.
Mythic.
Because level 25 is a 3.5 thing, and no. Also, Mythic is dumb.
It's great.
And so,
Good point.
I'm sure to the audience out there, Mythic can be fun, but man, is it difficult enough to deal with a party of 13th level optimized people. I don't need to add Mythic to it. So, we are having a bunch of people stay at the orphanages. I do believe that Lalara, Chelsea, sent her crafting companion with Frosty's companion to the orphanages. And sent her handsome guard to continue his duty in watching over the heir apparent, the last living, I guess, spawn of the Emperor. The Ifrit girl. Now, Shakti also has sent her pawns to help fortify the little people. In fact, most people, you guys are adopting a defensive posture with your pawns, knowing that something's about to go down, and people are noticing that you're doing so. It's kind of, it's not that people don't know that there's tension in the Empire, it's just that you get to add to it. Where it's like, oh, I just noticed that all the rich people in town have put locks on extra locks on all their doors. Is something bad about to happen?
Yeah, the Onon's pawn is quite good at rebuilding structures, so your orphanages are going to look a bit more like castles suddenly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Don't worry about it, though. It's very good.
It's all fortified,
I mean,
okay?
hey, that's great. Make them higher. Make them bigger. Make them better.
Gotta make it higher. And so Lalara is likely going to be spending the night finishing her Pantherian golem. It was left barely unfinished so that Lalara could put the final touches, put in her own commands into it, and get Fane ready to pilot it.
Okay.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
So you need to give me a general color scheme and a name. Also, to just make sure you have the actual stats on you. So if I say roll an attack roll, you can roll an attack roll. That kind of thing.
Okay, can I just DM that to you?
Yep, and also just make sure you have it yourself. Because if you're controlling it, you should have at least nominal knowledge of what you're controlling. Which I do not think is that unreasonable or
No, I want a wild mage, so I really don't know what's going to happen.
That is possible. It's called a spell scarred oracle, and eventually you can just roll twice and choose the better result. for various primal wild magics.
I think none has 2 teleports left. So if the group isn't going to be together for the rest of the day, she's gonna go talk to a forest dragon, see if she can get a little claw piece.
Go for it.
You're like, hey, I
People
want a bit of your hand.
people should not travel alone anymore.
Yeah, I guess someone can come with.
Either Moscus could go or like Tiamos or somebody. Lalara can't because she's busy.
I think Tiamos would go well with these forest dragon folks. They seem less on the lawful side.
What if they don't? Yeah.
Could
And
be.
anyway, if they did something to Tiamos, they would have to answer to Cadalatrix.
Oh yeah, that too.
Get fucked.
Well,
I can hang out with Lalara if she wants some protection.
okay. And Lalara gets the scariest blender this side of...
Oh, and Ian, I assume you're going to roll a combat encounter for each group in a full
Yep.
hour-long adventure.
Oh God.
Uh,
It's Moscus by himself.
I'm
He's just
also
gonna
going
fly
to make
away.
Sure that Snake.
Well, Moscus and Akane are a team.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'm also going to make sure that the person actually streaming it doesn't actually hear any of it.
Yep. Perfect.
So,
Yes.
for the full immersive experience.
You got to spend about an hour just the 4 of you sitting in a chat waiting.
Yep.
Like,
God, I really hope no DM would do. Actually, I was once part of a game where a DM did that. It was really dumb. He had his own custom built Dragon Ball Z RPG
Oh.
that eventually required calculus to figure out what the power level did to certain things.
At first, I'm like, you know what? Sure, why not? That could be. Oh, calculus. Oh,
I tried it, and turns out I'm like, okay, I want to be a Saiyan because it's
of
DBZ.
course.
And he said, great. And he's like, hey, you're actually a legendary Super Saiyan. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm not that deep into the show. He's like, don't worry.
Oh God, he
Then we
rolled
did the
for it.
prologue, I
He
got
fucking
beaten the
rolled
shit
for
out
it.
of. And then I'm like, okay, well, I come back. What? He's like, your power level's doubled. I'm like, great. And then the game didn't continue because he didn't know how to do it.
Perfect.
It was way too
Okay.
clunky a system. I know.
I don't think
Wonderful
that's
story.
calculus, but yeah.
Well, eventually, it would have gotten to the point where combat would have stretched into eternity.
Yes.
So yeah, because it's
I
Dragon Ball
don't
Z.
think you need to do any integral equations for your. If you do, your system has gone horribly wrong.
I think fundamentally it did go horribly wrong.
No. See, my system physics-based. Okay, you roll a d20 that determines the activation of the muscles in your arm. So you do all the
Oh,
trigonometry to see how hard you punch.
Science-based dragon MMO.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right, let's continue.
Yeah.
Let's continue. So, Onan goes off to the Imperial Forest Dragon. I will say, for the sake of brevity, it had already given you most parts, so a claw is not all that different. Although it does ask for you to represent its interests in the Civil War and help further its political agenda, which is more independence for it and its domain. It sees that Cadalatrix has its own city and it wants its own.
That's not the worst. Okay, I could do that. No, I talk diplomacy for spirits all the time. Big old dragon, no different.
So that's
can do this.
that's the
Yeah.
dragon's demand, which
That is not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
which is also a name of an adventure path. Huh. You guys, you spend the night doing your respective, probably just resting activities. Probably partially paranoid, talking to your pawns. Everyone seemed you'd have to be incredibly inobservant to not realize that the capital is on high alert and that it's very high strung, and that there's rumors of discontent and possible civil disturbances. People, some people are even saying there's going to be small-scale riots concerning the Emperor's treatment of a few different subgroups and minorities. And there's worry that it seems like armies are moving without Central Command actually giving them orders to do so. That it seems like the states, the various regions, are starting to mobilize their own forces in either preemptive strikes or self-defense. It is a difficult time.
Mhm.
Now, the dawn comes, and you know that you are to be at the Golden Lotus by 9 a.m. so that different ambassadors of different factions can meet with you, have a decent amount of time, then you have breaks in between to discuss what's happening, and also so that the different factions don't know who's talking with you, because they aren't all in the same room at the same time trying to be like, hey, we're going to go destroy that guy's faction. Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be really funny if we just got them all in. All right, let's work it out, guys. Come on, everybody, group hug.
So, I am going to throw you into the Golden Lotus.
The bird's there.
I didn't know if you wanted your bird.
No,
in
she
or
can
out.
be there. I just didn't. She's got her own big. I wanted her.
The gray is a stone wall. This is a windowless room with one entrance.
Okay, I want her. I'll put her where I want her.
Yeah.
Are those pillows movable?
Also, currently she's gargantuan, so I think.
Yeah,
she should
get her a little smaller. There we go. Now, can you make a pillow?
Sure.
I want a big pillow.
We'll make that one big enough. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bigger.
All right.
Oh, okay. One moment.
I can move Akane if you need me to. Yeah, perfect. She's lounging. And she's also the first thing people see when they walk in. A fucking dragon bird.
However,
Colin's pillow here.
you guys do know that while this room cannot be easily teleported into, the walls prevent ethereal go through the walls and floors and ceiling, prevent eavesdropping and ethereal go throughs. You are keyed into them temporarily so that you guys can teleport out in case something
Can I
happens.
check for traps?
Of course. Roll
Man,
perception.
trap finding.
Yeah, we haven't done that in ages.
Yeah.
Ian, I have a very important question.
Mhm.
Was that perception? Is that what you said?
Is the owner of this establishment named Iroh?
Oh god.
It's actually Ura.
Snake knows that.
I know that reference now.
Yeah.
We actually
Okay.
finished.
So you start searching through and you realize that the door
You have trap finding?
actually does have a mechanism to like seal itself and attack and have a spell lash out on anyone who tries to move the door. But it doesn't seem like that trap is activated, and it seems more like a safety feature than a real trap. They didn't tell you about it, but they did say the room would seal and prevent intruders from coming in. Or at least inconvenience them. Because a place like this knows that anyone who has enough time, power, and magic can break through a wall. But you look through and you don't actually find anything else. You don't find any eavesdropping device. You don't find a trap door. The room is otherwise clean. There's just a trap on the door that can be set should an emergency happen. There are also 4 guards outside. The Golden Lotus guards. They all have the Golden Lotus symbol emblazoned on their armor. And they seem to be more like bouncers / showing that you're important enough to require guards. Even if you guys are likely more powerful than the guards. Like in combat strength. Oh, I realize the monkey is not, in fact, on a pillow.
There we go.
Immersion.
So you guys can position yourselves around I just put you guys in there if one of you wants to be closer or further or what have you. You can
This is basically just a boss rush, right? They keep coming in, we keep beating them up.
Hey, you know what? I'd be down for that. It's just like the
Damn you
bag.
Politicians.
It turns out that there was no court intrigue in this campaign. So if you stayed in the court, it would have just been a series of levels and bosses.
Down with the bourgeois. Seize the means of production. Whatever the other memes are.
Bourgeois. And,
Bourgeois, which
the bourgeois sounds like a discount version of communism.
I mean,
Okay, so you are told one of the guards comes in and declares, "The first to meet you is Wan Yin sent by General Hiru." And he steps out, and so let me put this in Discord. And the door is closed, but you hear the guard through the door sort of say, "We're going to have to make sure you don't bring any weapons in there." And you just hear, like, very faintly a voice on the other side. "Ugh, I am the weapon. I have no daggers. Search me if you want. You won't find anything." The guard does so. The door opens, and in steps in a, like, silver-skinned, rather well put together Asimar man. You guys recognize him as one of General Hiru's noble allies. As he steps in, the door shuts, and then, like, you hear a shrunk, like a deep seal, and you can't hear anything from the outside now. The room is now sealed.
Ooh.
And the silver-skinned Asimar looks at each of you, like, you can see that he's trying to show that he isn't intimidated, but you guys are kind of intimidating.
Oh, wait. 1 second.
Oh, yeah,
Make
let's
that
see.
awkward.
Yeah, you guys can roll to assist Mozgus's intimidation.
Mozgus is, well, coincidentally, he's at the head of the table and just gonna stare at him silently until he approaches. With a nat 20.
Holy shit.
Damn, dude.
yeah.
Kong assist.
I totally.
This person is objectively more scared of the monkey than of Sarah.
God damn it.
However, everyone does assist. to making that a 57 on the 56 on the intimidate roll.
Oh, there should probably be a pillow here or something. Otherwise, he's just standing awkwardly the entire time.
I mean, isn't that fitting?
It's rude, though.
It's kind of a power move. Hey, that's okay. You don't want to be known as weak and a liar, right?
Oh God, no. Not
We
now,
could give
Ian.
him an uncomfortable pillow.
If you're trying
that's
to
a real
be,
power
if you're
move.
trying to be like actually friendly with some people, you probably shouldn't like say. And that plank of wood that has a few nails sticking out of it, that's where you sit. So he steps in, takes a look at the room, sees the concentrated power, also sees the fact that, are any of you trying to hide your draconic scales?
Nah.
Because all of you do, like,
Most of
the
us.
scales have only grown more pronounced since you've gotten more and more of the armor of the Dragon Emperor. And any of you who have the eyes actually do have the circular pupil of your eye is more of a slit than a circle.
The lizard people control the world. That's what this campaign boils down to.
Yeah, it turns out that you are the Illuminati. So, Wan Yin steps forward, does a deep bow to all of you. You can see that despite his best attempts, he is a bit shaken by how intimidating all of you are. And he announces, "My name is Wan Yin. I am a trusted confidant of Hiru, the High General of the court. I come here to seek knowledge of your intentions, so that I might transmit them back to His Excellency. I have also been authorized to give certain concessions in acknowledgement of your support." He moves and he sits down. There is tea that is being served, and all of it has been thoroughly all the equipment detects poisons and whatnot, because you guys are MVPs. And so he sits and he says, Firstly, I wish to know, would you support General Hiru in case of an unjust arrest from the Mad Emperor? You realize, meta-wise, this is a rather bold statement to make, and he's pretty sure of what your answer is. Because if you were actually pro-Emperor, saying that is effectively saying treason.
Traitor! Get no.
Good. Nothing stops you. I'm not here to stop you from making bad decisions. I'm just here to facilitate the world reacting to it.
Mazga says, "Well, thank you, Wan Yin, for taking the time to come," and he introduces everyone just in case he didn't know who they were.
Okay, he does not. It turns out it seems like he didn't know everyone. Because some of, like, especially Tiamos, like, he isn't in the public limelight. And Saruman he knows of and Saruman knows of him. But he didn't know Onun. Because Onun is less,
She's kind of new.
Well,
Isn't
he didn't know Onun was part of your group.
Ah.
Yes.
Before we answer your question, I believe everyone here would like to ask you a few questions first.
Of course, of course. Forgive my impropriety.
And he gestures toward Onan first.
Oh shit. How do you get your hair like that? Is that dye?
God
That's just,
damn
like,
it,
natural.
He considers the question very seriously. And he says, "It wasn't naturally quite this color, but as I gained more sorcerer's power and became closer to my ancestry, it turned this way."
Interesting. Fascinating. Okay. What are your plans for or what is Hiru's plans for the regent daughter, or the daughter, the little daughter?
The last remaining heir.
Yeah.
Wan Yin says, "Hiru plans on being part of any regency council and ensuring a smooth transition to power from the current emperor to his last remaining heir. However, with Hiru and undoubtedly you having some control over the policy. Now, you guys can just you guys can roll sense motive at any time. Not saying that he's lying about this, but because this is a social encounter, you can just roll sense motive. And if I don't respond, just say hey, and I rolled sense motive for that.
Okay.
Okay.
So it says the heir is to be preserved because the heir has legitimacy.
That's good.
Seems like he's on the level with that. Moscus, you sense that while that is the general plan, that Hiru, from the tone that Wan was talking about this, that Hiru doesn't actually care that much about the heir, and if the heir dies in the Civil War, Hiru's plans will go on anyway. That it's just simply more convenient for the heir to live than the heir to die, but ultimately the heir's fate doesn't matter.
The heir dying is good for the generals to actually assume power in normal election.
However, there's always the worry that the generals will not be seen as legitimate enough.
Mm-hmm.
And legitimacy, if they are not seen as legitimate, a lot of the regions are more likely to be rebellious.
Yes, fair.
So Monskus leans forward and places his hand, like, to be more attentive, and as he's speaking, and he places his hand on the table. Meta-wise, Moscus would have mentioned ahead of time, whenever he places one hand onto the table, he doesn't believe what was just spoken to him, at least not fully.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to retcon that, because that's totally something he would have done.
That's totally something that I believe could have been set up before this, so yes.
And Moscus says, the main reason we wish to discuss with you and others, or the main reason we have brought you here, and as well as others today, is to prevent a civil war.
You see Wan have a sort of a wary smile. He says, no one desires a civil war except those pushing against High General Hiru and High General Yang.
There are some that may simply allow one to happen, however, because it is in their best interests.
Yeah, when sort of he acknowledges what you're saying. He says, you must understand that General Hiru has pretty much everything he ever needs in his current position. He does not desire a civil war for the sake of war. He knows that that harms the country more than it helps. But he will not go and fall victim to assaults against his character, his freedom, and his very soul without preparing some defenses. He stares at you, Moscus. Translated, he's like, Hiru is not going to be arrested and allow himself to be just out of honor.
No one would ever stand to be falsely accused. We understand that. And Muscus leans back for someone else to inquiry.
We get one of those like little spinners on the table that TMOs. Ask a question.
Remember, there will be multiple guests, so some of you can focus on other guests versus.
And if we decide to support Hiru, what is his plan for the common people? How will he defend them?
Wen nods, and he says, Hiru's plans in relation to both the Empire and its people are relatively simple. He wishes to expand the border of the Empire navally, partially by taking some islands, and partially by making some islands, and expanding the Empire's naval projection, so that we might secure more resources to bring back to the Empire. He also wishes to change the government to be less noble and hereditary, and to have more positions in the high bureaucracy be gotten on merit. As you see, our current system allows such, but it is still very difficult for someone who, from a very capable person from the lowest rungs of society, to ever end up in positions of spectacular power. It takes luck or a mentor. Hiru wants to change that so that everyone must get in on merit, not just because the father or mother knows someone. For the average person, that will mean greater opportunity to actually be part of the Empire, part of its government or part of its military, to erode the power that the nobles have gained over their people, and to help start limiting serfdom and forced labor contracts. What meta-wise, the euphemism for forced labor contracts is effectively selling yourself into slavery for money. So it's not quite the going into other countries, raiding them and taking slaves. It's you telling a lord or a lady that you will give them 5 or 10 years of service in exchange for X amount of money, so you can give that to your family and you effectively become a household servant. Better treated than slaves in other countries, but still effectively a slave. So General Hiru wants to start chipping away at that system.
Alright, that's reasonable things.
But
General
isn't-
Hiru...
Because isn't there a mantle that is required in order to keep the wild magic at bay?
He probably doesn't know that.
The mantle, the existence of the mantle is kind of like the fact, the idea that the mantle exists and is real and has real consequence is something that is not well known to the general population, and maybe even someone in a position like Wan. You guys have only really gotten to know about the mantle because you've met people who have been part of what the mantle was before, and Sergeant or the Voice, who who knows about the mantle, or the Pillars, or the monks of the Mandate who look after the mantle. The
Right.
mantle doesn't actually require the noble. Hero isn't wanting to abolish all of the noble houses, but to make entry into, to weaken their power by making entry into.
That's fine, but
administration.
a mantle bearer has to be part of the civilization in order for it to continue working. Like, where else that's how I understood it
Yeah.
anyway.
We just want to have less, like, people hereditary getting their shit.
That's fine, but we still have to work this into the government.
Yes.
Like, I'm fine with that, but
I mean,
I'm
we
not
have an
arguing that
emperor.
point. Huh?
We just have we still have an emperor. It's just less hereditary. Right?
So basically, just a figurehead.
Oh, no.
The
person who
emperor
is-
themselves can still be a hereditary position. But they're talking about the power structure below.
Yeah. None of the people they're really mentioning are going to be touching the mantle, I don't think.
From what you're hearing him discussing, it would not touch the mantle, because the mantle is fundamentally someone is chosen as emperor and serves as emperor and keeps what magic from becoming wild magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does eventually mention that General Hiro also plans to expand the monster hunting aspect of the Black Summoner's Court and using monsters in more of an offensive army position to expand the monster hunting corps.
Interesting.
And does General Hiru care for the well-being of these monsters? Not the ones being hunted, but the ones being used.
No creature put in service of the Empire should be unduly tormented or disfigured or harmed if that can be prevented. General Hiru cares about the monster's fighting capacity and doesn't actually have full control over the Black Summoner's Court, and so it would be unlikely if he was too cruel to the monsters, the Black Summoner's Court would likely pull their support from what he's doing.
That's
so
fair.
General Hiru can't actually promise this, but he can try to put pressure on the Black Summoner's Court and give resources to the Black Summoner's Court to expand the use of monsters in military situations.
All right.
You also think that Wen himself was given the talking point and he doesn't actually know.
Okay. Are you and General Yang aligning? Is that still the plan? Is that ever the plan? Both of
General
you,
Yang and General Hiru have reached a tentative deal should the worst come to pass. But General Yang and Hiru still have some differences that need to be resolved. Mainly in the future of where the focuses of the military should be. But that has been a conflict since far before this crisis, and will likely be a conflict after, should both retain their positions.
That doesn't sound great.
No,
You
it
hear
doesn't.
Wan's trying to be diplomatic, but you also actually people could roll knowledge and nobility on Wan. Knowledge nobility is more like knowledge court. It's okay. You know that both Tiamos and Laura know that Wan doesn't like Yang for personally. That they have had that Yang has shown up Wan on several occasions. Because Wan is a leader of some of Hiru's troops, and he's had objectives that Yang took from him. Because Yang is objectively more clever than Wan. Like, Yang is objectively a better general. And so you can see that doesn't make Wan happy. So take whatever he says about Yang with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, if you come to the decision to help General Hiru, he gives you a token. It appears to be a iron disc with some... Oh, I can hear myself echo again.
Oh, no.
Is it me again, maybe?
I don't know. I have to see. Nope. Okay. It seems to be fine now. An iron disc with two swords crossed on it. He says you can give this to any. Let's see, where in my notes did I have this? The iron disc to Su Kang. Yeah. Who is a hero supporter. Su Kang has actually been used in several sieges that Hiru has done to break through gates, because she is a living battering ram.
That makes sense.
So, you now have your... If you're going to support Hiru, you give the Iron Disc to Su Kang so that they know you're in support. He otherwise says, if you have any other questions, you can please ask now. But otherwise, I shall let you get on with your undoubtedly busy day.
I almost have a question. Does anyone else?
I don't.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I guess I'll pass.
Okay.
And Moscas thanks him for his time.
And we're hearing the echo from you.
From me?
No, from Alexandra.
God damn it.
So, you guys know that if you press a button on the wall close to where Mosgus and Lulara is, they will get the signal to open up the seal in like 30 seconds.
We push the button.
Okay. You hear sort of soft mechanical clanking sounds as hidden mechanisms move to unseal the room. And Wang stands up, gives a deep bow, and then walks out of the room. Actually, just before he does, he says, I hope to hear your answer before... Let's see. Before Monday. meta-wise, Monday is the day that everything's going down.
All right then.
And Wan goes out of the room and disappears.
My God, he's a ninja.
Well, he rounds the corner.
I don't like
He's so good.
I don't trust him.
Yep, okay, you guys can talk about all this now.
I don't trust him either.
I don't believe just sorcery alone can give you hair that color.
I kind of I wasn't really paying attention when he said that, so I don't know if he was telling the truth.
Fuck.
No ASMR can have that color hair.
It's great to know we have our priorities.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if we can believe. Actually, what is our plan for the daughter of the Regency? Is she our goal to protect? Like, what are we doing on the day?
To
of
my knowledge, we would protect her, or
Yes,
not
but
on that
is that-
day. That's not our actual. We have too many other things to do.
Right.
I don't know who's protecting her. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming the
wanna
Emperor.
Well, Laura has
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like a kind of a low level guy.
Yeah.
She also has a bunch of
She
you have
should
a bunch
be.
of stuff.
She should be under like tight surveillance, especially if
Right, but by who? Everyone wants, like,
the
she's
people
important
closest to the
operation.
Emperor, right?
Everyone.
He has
I'd
his
assume
team.
So, but
She's gotta have guards.
She definitely has a lot of guards.
if she's on the side of General Zen, it's going to be hard to be legitimate. This campaign goes on for too long. The battle goes on for too long.
Well, it's not even about this battle. Is not about legitimacy. This battle is about the Emperor trying to get rid of two generals at the same time for reasons because he's crazy.
Mhm.
So she shouldn't be under any direct threat unless someone is planning on attacking her due to the chaos, like
It would
maybe
be
the
either-
prince or
Haru and Yang also have good reason to do so, as if they benefit most from having no direct heir.
there are many
Like,
other
try and
people
kill the
that could
Emperor.
be that. Could be many other people could be the Emperor though. It's not just them.
Yes, and they would make that list.
It's a big list
That's
though.
the point. It's a big list. But they want to at least have their list considered.
Maybe
I don't know if we can trust them to
they already
take care of
they
it, but I
do already
assume
have
Zen
quite a
is
lot
like-
of power, and if they don't know about the mantle, they think it's just a figurehead.
You're pretty sure that Hiru and Yang know about the mantle, but
Okay.
their subordinates might not,
Mhm.
or might not have it confirmed. So, okay, you generally don't like Wan.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna convince them to not actually fight. Is the thing. They obviously have to protect themselves, but like, how do we stop a civil war? Other than stopping the order going out.
Well, I guess we gotta murder the Emperor, guys.
We could do some misdirection. Send them to the wrong places.
Hmm.
Oh no, they both went to a different port. I think I made this joke last week. I'm going to stop it now.
I don't know if you did, but you know what?
I guess it
Or if
depends
we make a-
on it depends on how the message is carried out. So if it's being carried out by like the voice, that's a bit different than if it's just like a random messenger.
Right.
Because if it was just a random messenger, then one of us could conceivably shove them aside and take their place.
Well, it was either going to be the voice or the hand. And if it's the voice, that's a problem. If it's the hand, that's not such a problem. But we'd still have to deal with them.
Yeah.
Question is, should we try to enlist one of the generals in stopping that and delaying it until we get the Black Summoner?
To be like, hey, Hero, I'm gonna be bringing in some real firepower, so if you just don't civil war for a day, that'd be great.
Just a day. I think Yang would actually be more interested in that proposal than Hero, because he's the more peaceful one. So if we bring the Black Summoner back, that would bring stability back.
Just like hole up in your compound.
Yeah, just
for a few
don't
days.
start the war. Colin's sick.
Don't mention the war.
Just like leave the capital for the day? Just go on a trip. What could go wrong? Like, I don't know.
Or
So the
like
next
put
person?
walls of force around your compound.
I think the voice can get her way in.
That's true.
There's not much you
Oh
could do.
yeah! Smash.
That would be
If
super
the
fun.
voice's mission is to deliver some summons, I don't think there's going to be a lot of things you can do to get away from that.
Just trying to imagine the voice, but instead of being like a kind of friendly old woman, just be like Kool-Aid Man, just smash through walls. You've been summoned.
The Emperor's going to kill you. Oh yeah.
You got served. It's Voice the Bounty Hunter.
Okay.
Could we get them to Cadalatrix's demiplane?
Ah.
But they also have their honor, so they might not want to hide.
Yeah. Because if they just run away, it's still all of their people who are going to
mean,
pay the price.
They don't necessarily have to be willing.
I don't think we can
Mm.
just take out the High General quite so easily, but I mean, if nothing comes up, I guess we'll consider it.
Or we could just like kill them.
Or that.
I guess that's technically no. That's not on the table.
What if we just fly away?
We could,
Fuck
yeah,
this
we
place.
could just say whatever and leave, but that's no. Also not on the table.
Ugh.
But we agree that we would like to delay it if possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk to the
Sure.
next guy then. Or gal. Or whatever.
Okay. So you're on to the next one. Roughly 30 minutes later, the teas and snacks are actually amazing. They're high quality, but I'm not going to describe them in too deep a quality because that's. No, I'm not J.R.R. Martin. Okay, I also get shit done. A guard announces that Lin of General Yang, emissary from General Yang, has arrived. What you see is it's a gnome, dressed in like flamboyant like you can see it has like a black cloak, but as soon as it gets in and the door shuts, it kind of sheds the black cloak for like red and yellow and orange clothing. And it goes, "Hi, my name's Lin," and he snaps his fingers, and like his cloak flares up, and sort of does almost like a little dance. It says, "I'm from General Yang, here to talk to you about how to help the Empire. Also, oh yeah, So, how
Intimidate.
can we help each other? He takes a look at all of you and like the gigantic bird. Like it shouldn't. Like your bird barely fits in this room. Like, whoa! I didn't know that tea houses served birds that big. But you know what? If any tea house would, it'd be the Golden Lotus. Now,
Technically, she's part dragon.
like you intimidate you do an intimidation. This person just doesn't seem to understand that there's danger. So the intimidation doesn't seem to work, but he does notice that all of you are focusing on him. Oh, okay. So, let's see.
Please,
Let me
have a seat.
introduce myself. I kind of know about all of you. My name's Dulin. I come from a region of Haval that's currently volcanic, and and I am one of General Yang's most, I wouldn't say trusted advisor, but I'm definitely someone that really likes what General Yang does, and I'm a great advocate. And he does listen to me. So I guess I'm an advisor, even if he doesn't tell me military secrets, because I'm terrible with secrets.
So
Okay,
basically, you're
I-
just a hype man.
Oh, I'm not just a hype man. He almost seems offended that you'd say that. I am much more than a hype man. I am indeed one of his greatest supporters. I also happen to be part of the Seers Council. Oh, at least one of the rungs on there. I just like telling Yang what's going to happen so he can then do stuff about it. And then I like to tell him what's probably going to happen. I'm actually pretty good at probabilistic calculations, but I notice the moment I say that, all of your eyes glaze over. So let's not talk too much about that.
We're familiar with divination.
Good.
Very.
I also
Basically,
use
staff is
not
very
magic
cool.
divination, which involves calculations. It's weird, but combining both, I create arithmomancy and then sacred geometry.
Oh god damn it.
Oh no.
I just use this fancy staff. It's got a whole bunch of eyes on it. Kind of creepy. I asked the person.
Ooh, he looks at the
It's less
staff.
creepy. He said no.
He ogles it up and down. Looks quite cool. Did he make it yourself?
No, I had to buy it. So I don't do staffs, but.
I was
he had a
hoping to
custom
find a
made.
good staff maker. It's hard to find people who make staffs.
I have a
make
good
a
staff maker. They're probably going to die in this horrible war unless we work something out. So
That's really unfortunate. Staff makers are in very high demand.
yes.
Also, terrible thing this war that may or may not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he smacks his forehead. I need to ask you about that. Are you gonna try to, help Yang not die to an unfair, extrajudicial murder by the Emperor?
We like Yang. We got some. We're kind of busy that exact day. Is there any way you could delay it or
Oh, well, Yang's been
Push
trying
it.
to delay it.
even push
But
it forward would work?
Whoa, no. Yang isn't trying to push it forward. Yang wants to try to avoid a civil war if he can in the first place. Yang likes stability. He kind of gives you, he waves his hands at, a level table in front of him. Stability, rock-solid foundations, the types of things that, unfortunately, the current emperor isn't providing. But Yang doesn't want to change the emperor's leadership if he can, just help the emperor not be crazy. However, if the emperor is uncurably crazy, that probably should stop. And also, I have it. People tell me all sorts of things they shouldn't. And I know that the monks of the mandate do believe he's violating the mandate, but he's not showing the traditional signs, so something funky is going on.
Ooh.
Find out next time.
So currently, there's a bunch of monks in the Mandate who say, well, he's not showing the signs, it must be okay, and a bunch who say he's not showing the signs, but he's clearly not following the spirit of it. He's doing something.
Hmm.
Did you happen to hear what that thing was?
Well, generally, when you start violating the Mandate, it has physical signs on your person, like words or symbols burned into your flesh, or like your fingers shrivel up. Just generally bad stuff, but the Emperor kind of looks fine. Even looking at him through True Sight, he doesn't look like he's...
I mean, what the Emperor is doing.
Oh! Who knows? We can't really cast divination magic to find out, because he's the most protected man in all of the Empire. Yes, he is. It just, like, his laughter seems to die down once he realizes that, yeah, he is the most protected. He's also spending a lot of time in his vault, because we usually... sometimes you have a workaround where you can kind of just divine around the Emperor and find some stuff. It's kind of rare. It's a very finesse kind of thing. But if he's in the vault, no can do. He's either in the vault or he's found a new place to tell the Diviner's Court to fuck off.
Can you tell us when he's in the vault?
Oh, I could probably... maybe. I could tell you if he's undivinable, but that's a lot of the time. He has a lot of layers of defense, and the mantle protects against most divination magics. As it turns out, having the leader of your country being able to be have divination magic cast onto them is kind of a bad idea. So they work that kind of defense into the mantle.
Makes sense.
I don't know how the mantle was created. It's brilliant in what it does, but it also does make my job a bit harder. So I tend to just divine other things non-Emperor related, like what's the weather at my secondary home going to be in a week? That kind of thing.
Where's your secondary
That's
home?
a great idea, actually.
Oh yeah, no, and then I pass that information on to the agriculture people so that they can control weather if it's going to be too many weeks of drought, that kind of thing. The Diviner's Court and the Department of Agriculture, very close. In fact, the Department of Agriculture is part of the Diviner's Court. I would say I have a green thumb or a black thumb or whatever the saying is, but I don't really garden. I just tell people if they should garden. This you can tell this man is just gonna meander.
How has General Yang tried to delay the civil war?
Well, he's tried to send emissaries to the Emperor and try to have spy his own followers, try to figure out why he's being branded a traitor. He's tried to be very hard to contact so that they can't find him, but we fear that someone like the hands of the Emperor or the voice is eventually just gonna kick down his door and say, "You're coming with us," and then Yang will have to make a pretty big decision there. Yeah, Yang is an incredibly smart man, but he also lacks common sense in some ways. Like, he's terrible at house cleaning.
You've been to his house much?
Oh yeah, he actually has a humble little but quite well secured place, right in the Noble district. Also has 2 secondary houses well away from the capital, because it turns out he doesn't really like the capital, but he's a bit too competent for him to be away from the capital for too long. It's kind of like you're cursed to be too good at something and can't leave it. Yeah. Yang's also just kind of going until he can retire.
Okay.
But unfortunately, he's a long-lived species, so retirement is a long way away. I mean, he could retire, he could try to retire now, but I don't think that's going to stop the knock-knock, you're in kind of encounter you might get.
Yeah.
So Yang, probably out of his enormous sense of duty, is trying to keep the Empire stable while, the winds of change blow. Oh yeah, he told me I should tell you what he plans for. He wants the last remaining heir to get onto the throne because Yang can't be bothered with trying to become emperor. It is far too much work. He wants to focus on the defense and improving the infrastructure and streamline and expand the administration and the
Doing some census.
and the research. And he wants to try to find more non-fighting ways of using the monsters and having them have happy and productive lives outside of just constant murdering. Because monsters can be good at murdering, but Yang thinks that with the right kind of creature, you could do so much more. He's actually taught me. He's talked about using zills for fortress building, or using positive energy elementals to help the sick and poor.
Well, I can agree with that.
That sounds like a plan. Also, you don't really get to retire as the Emperor.
Yeah, Yang really does want to retire one day. So, you have you could also roll knowledge nobility. So Mr. Heightman saying he completely believes what he's saying.
Okay.
You don't know. It seems like he's a bit meandering and maybe a bit lost in exactly what's happening, but he seems to be rather truthful. Alexandra, you know that Yang never wanted to be a high general, but he kept on being put in situations where he kept on advancing through the ranks quickly because there kept on being situations in which he had to take over to limit the loss of life. And every time he did, he got promoted. And he's ended up head general, and Yang has historically been the general who's tried to limit loss of life on both sides. So he tries to do surrender plays or trickery or massive illusions to prevent sentient life loss. Some say that Yang's a bit too cautious and doesn't have ambition, but Yang seems to mostly care about saving lives and keeping things stable.
Have you made any agreements with Haru?
Oh yeah, a bunch of them are going to pretend, oh, we don't really like that, or oh, we don't really. But both Haru and Yang, as both rivals and friends, don't want to see each other locked up. So I do believe there's an arrangement. If one goes down, the other's not going to let the other actually go down, That kind of thing. But it also means that Yang is actually going to have to, go on the offensive, and Yang hates doing that.
Perhaps.
General Yang would rather avoid all of that. But he has won offensive battles before. He just doesn't like it.
With your divining, do you know, is he going to be executed if he ends up in the trial and all that?
Oof.
Or would he have some time?
There's far too many protections around that event.
Okay.
Every time we try to get an answer about what's going to happen in the next week with a possible trial, we get lots of confusing answers. Someone has very powerful divination magic around the whole thing. Which probably means that there's a lot of people involved who have high-level divination protection magic, which means that the answers get garbled.
Well, that sucks.
I know! I just tried to do my job, and people just,
They're
make it near
garbled-
impossible.
they're
Which
garbled
also
too.
probably means that the Emperor himself is somehow involved. Probably in giving some high and mighty sentence, or, just spectating. Who knows what this Emperor would do? He could probably just be in the middle of the trial, pull down his pants and shit on the documents, and, that would be par for the course.
I suppose it's
Ooh,
possible.
I'm not supposed to say that. Please ignore what I just said.
Nope, it's down for the record.
But you see, he sent me to you because he thought that a frank and earnest response would be better than trying to pull a fast one on you. And anyway, he generally likes the pillars. The pillars don't shake things up too much. The pillars are literally about stability. Yang likes the pillars. And all of you represent their draconic hides. I literally see each one of you has, scales of each of the different ones. It's actually kind of crazy and creepy. I knew some of you before, or I've seen some of you before you became part dragon, and now you're part dragon. Were you always part dragon, and just hiding it? Or
I think it was just an aspiration.
It's been a long week, or month, or whatever.
I don't know which pillar you're representing, but
No, I'm not. I found some second-rate other... this room has words against other people listening in, right?
yes. it
Yeah, I
is.
got some second-rate other person.
Ah!
Yeah,
What? What?
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yep.
Onan isn't a huge fan of her dragon, but she's like, fuck it, I gotta be a dragon. And, I mean... She likes it more than, I don't know, the Catalatrix or the, what's his face? The black
The evil
dragon.
one.
The
Yeah.
Twilight Keeper.
Plus, we already had 2 kids from, what's her face?
Dawncaller.
Dawncaller, so...
Dawn Collar's cool enough to have a lot of kids, man. Come on.
That's I mean, you're not wrong. Run's got to have her own style,
Her own weaker, lesser style.
Yes.
Although,
Exactly.
though she does get piercing as her breath weapon
Yeah.
instead of.
I mean, Sonic, hey, whatever.
So,
And cool antlers.
You get antlers?
I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. It's one of the things you get out of all the parts. Because the Force Dragons have antlers.
yeah, the Force Dragons do have antlers.
And that's like the
Oh,
one
none, you
cool
do
thing.
actually have, antlers growing.
That's the one stylish thing Druids got going on. So Onan's taking that. Tiny ones, not getting in the way of shit, but
Oh, yeah, so,
She's
Sun-
on door
tasteful.
frames.
do you have anything else you want to ask about Yang? Or, otherwise, should I just give you this fancy-dancy token I have here? He has,
So,
a
you
small
like-
rod.
Who makes these tokens? Do you all go to the
Oh,
same
no,
place,
this
or-
is, this is something Yang made. If you break this rod, it's kind of breakable. But not, super breakable. You have to really be deliberate in breaking it. But looking
Okay.
at, how generally muscular you guys are, I'm sure you can break it. If you break it, Yang will know that you're kind of on his side, in his corner, wanting to not have the Empire destroy itself in a massive civil war, that kind of thing.
So we can assume, or we can verify that Yang's corner would be Hero's corner?
For the against the Emperor, yes.
Okay.
And later on, I assume Yang would rather just step down than fight? Or...
Yang, my job is to predict the future, but sometimes it's rather hard. You have to understand that both Yang and Huru have a lot of respect towards one another, and probably don't want to fight each other because they know the other is going to inflict terrible, terrible damage on the other, you know? They both respect each other to be that they can't win overwhelmingly. It's a bit of a stalemate kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so if one side ever got way too much more power, that'd probably be bad.
All right.
Well, okay then.
Does anyone have any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, so he puts down the token. It looks like it's like someone took a thin silver rod and just wrapped a bunch of like vines around it, but the vine is dead. And he's like, Yang made that. He'll know if you break it. Try not to bring it into too many anti-magic zones. It's not good for it. That kind of thing. And otherwise, please let me know before Monday. Monday.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
And have an absolutely fantastic day as he sort of saunters back. Then he says, you have to open the door first.
Hit the button.
Okay. And so he turns around and he says, you won't believe what happened to my hometown, though, while he waits for the ceiling. Like, I started getting, like, I woke up one day at my third summer home, and I discovered that there was a chicken in my kitchen. And so, you know, a chicken in the kitchen, it's rather deadly for the chicken, so I decided that breakfast had come to me.
Are you
So I killed the
married?
chicken.
Just out of curiosity, are you married?
Oh, yes, happily so.
Are you sure?
Oh,
I mean,
think
Valara,
am.
you are, so, control yourself.
I am married, but my wife was at my first house, not my third. But I killed the chicken, and then it explodes in fire and cooks itself, and then comes back to life. It's fucking crazy.
And it was probably really angry, right?
Oh, it was foaming at the mouth, mad. Although I don't know if chickens can foam, but it's more of the expression.
Well,
The expression in its beady little eyes was one of pure insanity and hate. But I discovered that there's actually a time between it exploding and it reforming for me to harvest the chicken breast off of it.
oh
So I
God.
actually have
No,
a
wait,
supply of chicken breast.
stop eating that.
Oh,
That's very unhealthy.
Yeah.
You're actually going to be cursed if you keep eating that food.
Yeah.
You should
Oh.
honestly, after you talk to Yang, get yourself to the volcano and talk to Sarajin, who is...
you.
Oh, wait, no,
you
he's not
moved
there.
Sarah
He's not
June.
there. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Just stop eating the chicken.
Okay.
Bury the chicken
Okay.
or something. I don't know.
You know the herbalist outside of the Bailman's place? You can go to that herbalist and get some holy water from the
Yeah,
Bailman
fair.
will bring out.
So, do you give him the
Yeah, well-
directions to a small town?
Yeah, we'll give him the directions to the alcohol lady.
And I'll send over a sending. Like, make sure the alcohol lady has a bit of that good old holy water.
And bring the chicken.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You should probably also drink some of the water she'll give you.
Oh, okay. I'll follow that. Seems like you guys are way more concerned about an exploding chicken than most people that I told that story to. So,
Yeah, it's a bad chicken.
can you tell me why?
I'd rather not. You said you're not very good with the secrets, right?
Oh, is it that bad?
It's pretty bad.
You could just leave it at it's cursed. I mean,
Okay,
It's cursed.
fine. I'm not eating that chicken anymore. Now tell my
generally
people to
cursed
not eat that
objects
chicken either.
or animals is not advisable.
The door finally opens. He says, "Thanks for the advice about the poultry. I'll wait to hear your response." And he kind of just marches out.
So
Turns the
someone took the Phoenix Scepter and branded a chicken with it?
No,
At some
just
point?
casualty. I imagine.
Yeah, it was probably just a.
You can't be near that kind of magic that long and not get messed up.
Okay.
It probably has a negative will score. Come on.
I mean, yeah. No, it had a ranged automatic effect.
Well, it's a seeping over time kind of thing.
I
I'm
guess.
gonna get some water. I'll be back.
I'll be right back as well. I need to feed the cat.
Oh no.
I'm going to use the washroom real quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Be right back.
Everybody's leaving.
I'll be right back. I have to grab some food.
I like that guy.
Lilara found him annoying. That's why she was like, "Are you married? Are you sure your wife is happy there?"
Okay, I'm back.
Eh,
Do I have everyone?
no.
No.
Okay.
Everyone
have
is
some people.
gone.
The gnome scared them off.
I knew I played him too jovially.
No, it was good.
Good. Because it's different from Ninu, who's just kind of a nervous kind of arrogance. Dulin just
What the?
doesn't understand. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 actually has a trailer.
Ooh.
The same people who who did Witcher 3 are
Nice.
making a Cyberpunk.
I like the sound of that.
They're doing what?
They're doing people who did Witcher 3 are doing a Cyberpunk game.
Like
So,
third person or?
I don't know. All they have is the trailer. So it'll probably be third person just like Witcher.
Yeah. I loved the only thing that I've really experienced Cyberpunk with is Batman Beyond, and I love that. So
If I think there's a movie you should try to see. If you haven't, called Ghost in the Shell, like the original 1990s version.
oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
So I would definitely suggest you watch that, either that or Akira, because that is really quite good with the cyberpunk. And once you see it, you can sort of start seeing its influence on sci-fi and cyberpunk throughout all of it.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I assume Frosty isn't here then.
Yeah. Everybody went in different directions.
They just scattered.
I have returned.
Hey, Frosty.
Hey.
Something we need to talk.
Oh.
Oh no.
I'm back.
Hey. Ian and Frosty went to have
Secret
special
talks.
time together.
They're back.
We're back? Okay, is everyone back? Can I get a sound off?
I think so.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And at one point, Alexandra, you will be there as well. Give a sign of life, Alexandra.
Oh no, she's dead.
Oh no.
Well, GG. I guess we'll go on. So, your next guest is introduced as Leia of General
Does she
Zen.
wear a bikini?
Or have those weird curl hair things.
Okay. And just before he steps through, you hear the door opens and you see a female armored dwarf come in. And the door shuts and seals, and the dwarf looks at all of you, then smiles, and then a familiar figure replaces.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no.
This simulacrum hasn't. This is the simulacrum. It's not
Yes.
pretending to be flesh and blood.
Your favorite prince rubs his hands together and has a big wide smile on his face and says, "Oh, it's my best friends in the whole world that I can still remember. How's it going?" Okay. Cool. He gives like some finger guns towards Smozgus. And begins to take his place on the pillow.
Please sit, old friend.
Oh, you're just gonna kill the simulacrum?
Fucking really?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
God, I'm glad you didn't do the intrigue portion of this campaign. What do? Your hated rivals there. I just
I
murder
attack.
them. In
Bloody
plain
coup.
sight.
Alright.
So I suppose you're not from General Zen then?
No, actually, he hates me on account of the whole war we had against him that he lost. Well, lost, quote unquote. You know how it goes. I guess won, technically, but that was my doing. So, how are you doing? Oh, I see. Not talking.
We're
You
kind
don't
of-
want to
We're kind of
give away all your plans, right? Yeah.
busy today. Is there?
Okay. Well, I have some good news, which I'm going to share with you now. Maybe take a little load off your plate, maybe make you a bit less busy, because I know you have some plans on the Monday. The trial is being delayed a day. You're welcome.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I need to. I don't know how easy this is against a.
I have no idea what the role is either.
Fake
Simulacrum
frost.
is like a
I'm
count.
doing the GM role.
Okay.
I'm back.
Hey.
Wait,
welcome
what?
back.
Why is the prince here?
It's a
What did I miss?
It's
the
the
fake
fake
prince.
prince.
Jesus Christ.
Calm down.
I thought we
Okay.
did a head count. Did we not do a head
Oh my
count?
god. I'm just
So-
gonna eat my ice cream.
So, a dwarf, a female dwarf, came in under the auspices of being a ambassador for General Zen, but it turns out it was actually the simulacrum prince all along. So,
Why do I always miss the fun stuff?
Well,
Yeah.
I
don't
don't
know.
know. You just need to have better timing. The simulacrum isn't lying.
Okay.
If the simulacrum isn't as good at lying as the prince is, you can actually tell. It's almost like the simulacrum is like using a less refined form of what the prince uses now. AKA, it has less hit dice.
Yeah. I had the darndest time figuring out how to do it, too. I started out by just threatening people with, Ruha's going to join this side if you do this, or Ruha's going to join that side if you do that. But honestly, I don't even know how many people we've got in our army. The prince doesn't tell me shit. But with enough triggered suggestions, we can do just about anything, can't we? He looks very proud.
Well, I guess we want to thank you for that then.
Mm-hmm.
And also ask, well, I guess straightforward, does Ruha want a civil war?
In
Nuhan.
some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I mean, we're pretty good at... I'm using we for both me and the prince, because I kind of know what he's going for, but I don't quite know everything. And I don't want to say I, because that's weird, because I'm a different person, kind of. It's a very confusing thing. My life is just a big existential crisis. So, we want a good, steady, healthy kingdom in the end, but we're probably going to be best able to provide that if there is a war. But if we can delay it, we're going to delay it. If we can stop it, we're going to stop it, as long as we're praised as the heroes for doing so. I see you're looking more draconic than usual. Is that a recent thing, or...
We've been busy.
No, yeah, no scales from... Poor Saruman has no scales from, or pits from Yazadul yet. I see. We're not able to find him.
He's eating undead people, I think.
Right, yeah, that sounds like him.
Meta-wise, you remember that Prince Ruhan and his people in the Twilight Keeper have had a sometimes angry and antagonistic relationship with each other. But we move on.
So, who are you siding with in this war? I've heard rumors you're just going to represent the Four Pillars.
That is true, actually.
Ah. Something out of a fairy tale. Do you stand for anything in particular, or are you just sort of here?
We'd prefer not to have a war break out. We'd prefer
you and lots of
stability.
people.
We're protesting the war.
Okay. How does your protest work? Lots of signs, picket fences?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Nice. I like your style. Very ambitious. The prince is like sipping tea. He's thrilled to be here. He's got the biggest smile. This is nice. We should do this more often.
How? So why only a day?
Hmm?
Why only a day?
Well, I mean, they're eventually gonna figure out how to get this thing going. All I can do is surprise them with a big operation on the day of, big riots and people not coming to work and just a whole lot of chaos that they can't really feasibly bring out enough force to take the general anywhere. But if that happens too many days in a row, the rioters are going to start dying, and that's not what anyone wants here. Plus, like, the suggestion will last a day, but like I can wait like 10 days to have it call up, so I can have 10 days preparing people, and then 1 day of all of them riding. But I can't have them 10 days riding. It's all set up, and not very much continued.
Is there anything you expect of us?
Oh no, this is just a gift from my good friends. An offer of peace. I know at the auction I may have seemed a bit bitter that you guys had won, but it was all in good sport. Though I really do like, if you could get, you have that sensor, right? The sensor of Talmud. Could you just, Runavag is not calming down. Oh, also, have you seen Jimmy? I haven't seen him in so long, and I'm a bit worried Timos has taken him out into the woods and killed him.
I think you'd be proud of where he's at now.
Well, that's good to hear.
I've been training him.
You've been training him. That's not what I was expecting, but you know what? That's progress. I'm proud of you,
And
Timos.
he has a very large ass.
What?
There's some inner joke that goes on.
Yeah, the prince doesn't get it. And also, I didn't get it for a second there. I was like, is that what Timos was teaching? I need
Yes.
to think on Timos'
Squats so your glutes can become powerful.
I was teaching him alter self.
Interesting. Well, that's good to hear. I don't think I had anything else to tell you. You guys have anything else to tell me?
We've missed you.
Oh, I've missed you guys too. Unfortunately, your dragon friends have not missed me very much, I don't think. They're,
No, I don't think so.
nah.
But they would love to know where you are.
Oh, yeah. Well, too bad.
Man, I thought that would have worked.
I could not tell you that if I wanted to. Because, you know, information's mostly flowing the one way.
We really do need to have these talks more often.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Do we have anything? I don't... Like, I'm happy to sit here with you and sip tea. It seems very nice, but... I suspect the actual representative of General Zen will be here any moment, and that'll be an awkward...
No, I wasn't prepared to talk to you today, so...
Okay.
And I'm not
So,
really sure.
how's the artifact hunting going?
Oh, we're not hunting any artifacts where I'm from. We're... Well, maybe not making artifacts, but we're hard at work.
Has the prince contacted you?
I mean, he tells me little things here and there, but not much.
Can you tell us about his long-term goals?
Probably to be the emperor, but I think he'd settle for a spot on your regency council, at least in the short term.
All right, that's fair. Okay. He's a prince. That makes sense.
He's a prince of a desert.
I mean, yes. I don't know that disqualified someone.
It does.
Well, damn. You know, some of the best princes in the world are from deserts, okay?
Are they?
Okay, well, the mountains up north, really cold, basically a tundra. And a tundra's a desert. So there you go, Alara. You also can't be Empress, according to Timos. How's that feel?
The mountains of Crayon aren't just tundra.
And there's like a tiny oasis in Ruhana.
How is this proving your point?
I don't know at this point. I'm just prolonging the conversation. I'm so lonely. Secrecy is such a bore. Everyone at the most of the people I talk to in a given day are charmed, and they just say whatever I want to say. You're the only people I talk to that can actually have a conversation with.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, but I mean, it's part of the job. It's got to keep on keeping on, and I think my time is up here.
Is it a job, or is it if you don't do it, you'll be killed? Because that's not really a job. That's like slave labor.
I mean, if the guards outside don't do their job, they'll die of starvation eventually.
It's not really the same thing. They can change. They can change jobs. Can you change jobs?
That's a very good question. I don't know.
I don't think you can.
What happens if you break the enchantments on me, or if I just turn into a pile of ice?
Well, Lara might know. Roll the thing.
I might know.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? Spellcraft?
Yeah.
Tell me if I know, Ian. Is Ian here?
Oh God.
Oh, no.
Who needs a DM?
Yeah, who needs a DM? Not us,
Ian-
apparently.
Oh, yes. You know that if you break the enchantment, the magic that makes him alive also binds him to the prince's will. So you can't really remove one without destroying the other.
Could we bind him to something else?
You could make a simulacrum of this simulacrum,
But would the first one die? Is this a Soma thing?
and let the first one die. Yeah.
So then,
Then you'd have a simulacrum of the prince under your control.
But this one would die.
Oh,
What if we
this one
enchanted-
wouldn't die, but you'd effectively create another copy. Simulacrums, not if you can keep on making.
I'm retconning that Onan has made very many hand gesture things that can make elaborate points, like paragraphs long at a time, and it's asking. No, but meta-wise, I could probably just enchant this simulacrum to temporarily and ask for more information, but I don't know what we're missing.
It doesn't have much, but honestly, I was just thinking it'd be neat if we could have it on our side. But
Oh, if mind control magics that you put in, like that you put over it, would temporarily override its loyalty.
Interesting.
unfortunately, we did not prepare these things because
Because the prince is the one who does that kind of thing.
Yeah, if only we had a prince at our party,
I know.
or at least a simulacrum of.
I have some charm magic.
But do you have dominate magic,
No.
which would kind of what's needed
You
here?
can't spell cutting that. Timos.
Probably could, but it would take like 5 full rounds.
Oh, whoops.
It's not really a subtle thing you can just do.
I mean, you've got the bird. You could hold him here for 5 rounds.
No. I don't want to be mean about
Subtlety
it.
would kind of go out the window.
Yeah. Well, Mazga says, well, come around more often.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing each other in one form or another a lot more often lately. And he gives a big old grin. And he turns confidently to walk out the door and it's closed. And he's like, oh shit. Could you press the button for me?
I suppose.
He's such a better character than Onan.
I know, right?
He
He's a
also-
fucking doll.
Okay, the door
And now he-
opens
Now
and
he's half off of the screen. Oh, no. Come on.
The door opens and there is no other person for General Zen. It turns out they didn't arrive.
Okay.
Well, shit. We kind of wanted to talk to that one.
because real Ruha messed that up and sent his simulacrum instead.
Okay.
Because real Ruha doesn't give a shit about General Zen.
And then the simulacrum disappears. I actually did like the finger wave of like, ooh, magic. Despite the
Ooh,
fact
magic.
But, you know, I feel it adds to the...
Ooh, it's magic.
Okay. Oh, I realized that.
Well, I guess that's nice of Ruha, even though we know he's going to try to abuse that.
Mm-hmm.
What a... Oh, he's such a great reoccurring villain. He's not
So we
even
get-
really a villain at this point. He's more of an NPC.
We'll see what happens. Ooh. More finger waves. Magic. The finger wiggles more accurately.
You got, as the doors open, you do actually hear sounds of fighting down the hallway, and the guards outside of your door perk up, and then you just hear like the sounds of combat get interrupted when you just hear like what sounds like a bunch of bodies thumping into someone and people screeching. It's almost like someone's interrupting a cat fight. And you just hear one person screaming, "The Black Summoner's better than any of you reformers will ever have!" And the other person screams back, "The Black Summoner is a relic from an ancient era. We need something new." And you actually see two of them kind of get dragged by other guards in front of the room, each with like a flight of guards with them. You think that those were actually supposed to be the traditionalist and the reformer Black Summoner's Court emissaries, but it looks like they found each other and started fighting. They stop just outside your room, and you can kind of see them, a glimpse of them briefly before they're carried off. So Shakti. So Lauren. You know that there's currently two different camps within the Black Summoner's Court. One that wants to reform it and use the fact that the Black Summoner's not currently in power to make more of a council that rules rather than a singular person. And then there's the traditionalists who want to get the Black Summoner better in any way possible so that he can resume control of the Black Summoner's Court and stop the reformers from effectively usurping control. So you kind of have to decide where your character falls on this spectrum of reform and traditionalist.
Meta-wise, isn't he like part of like the magical balance of everything?
Meta-wise, you actually now understand that he is.
Yeah. Not really into the reformists, but
I mean, you guys are planning.
Like as a figurehead, but they're wanting to like replace him entirely. It seems.
Yeah, the reformers are kind of trying to use this opportunity of the Black Summoner being in a coma to change the court structure so that even if he does recover, he will no longer have the same level of control he had before.
Oh, yeah. Well, you might think it's a good idea, but the ignorance could like really hurt everyone. My character's per the tradition was. Nice.
Okay. Then you don't really need to have the conversation with those two, as they will, because they broke the rules, they don't get to speak in your room. So there's only one person left today that is supposed to meet with you. And it is Hui Kun. Hui, actually, yeah, that's an I. Boop. The door opens, and the guard announces, Hui Kun, emissary from the monks of the Mandate. And a person kind of floats in a few inches off the ground, and then, like, stops at the doorway and gives a very respectful bow, and then sort of straightens up, never touching the ground as she does so. She says, I am here as the representatives of the monks of the Mandate, of a faction within that is concerned about the Emperor and the Mantle. Being representatives of the Pillars, I do hope that you have heard of the Mantle and its importance to the continuation of our civilization.
Yes, we have. That has been on the forefront of my mind, of our minds.
She nods. She says, the Emperor has clearly violated his oath multiple times, and yet shows no sign of the curses that should start befalling him for his transgressions against the Mantle. We fear that he has found some way of delaying, masking, or staving off the curse, or even finding a way of redirecting the Mantle to punish someone else. We worry for its stability. The Mantle works because it has the ability to punish those who would harm it. But if someone can use its power but not be forced to bear its responsibility, the realm is in danger. She kind of floats over to the pillow and, like, sits cross-legged but doesn't actually touch the pillow. She's just, like, floating like 3 inches above it. I would ask that you find out, using the power of the Pillars and your resources, how the Emperor has circumvented the Mantle. We worry that he plans on using something, most likely in his vault, as a way of escaping divine punishment.
Even if we can't get to him in the vault, we can at least get to that.
Smash it.
I come here not to worry about the Civil War, as the Civil War will not affect the Mantle as long as it is held by someone. I'm here about the health of the mantle itself. Agents we have in the north that are monitoring the mana waste are saying that the wild magic is expanding further south than it should.
Oh boy.
The edges of the mountains of Cran are starting to fall to primal influence. It is subtle, it is slow, but it is demonstratable.
Oh, none.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse us for just a moment. Metawise, I forgot her name already because I forgot to write it down.
Sorry. Hey, Kun.
Hey,
Monks.
we just need a moment to talk amongst ourselves. If none, you could
Yeah.
use.
The monkey will go silent and just put the
Hang
aura on.
around.
Yeah, and
Okay.
hopefully they don't use like their audience, but I guess we can look if they try and.
It seems like they have. They've closed their eyes and they've put their hands over their ears.
And are in an aura of silence.
Yep. They're trying to respect your wishes as much as they can, being locked in the same room with you. So
Should we mention to her that we are considering putting one of ourselves onto the mantle, if not multiple?
She'd be the person to talk to.
It doesn't seem like she cares about who's in charge as long as someone has it, which would make sense.
you know that as an organization, the Monks of the Mantle. I get to use my chart again. The Monks of the Mandate.
Oh no, the Court of Concubines.
In jail, still. The impending civil war.
What? There's a civil war?
The Monks of the Mandate. To someone outside of who doesn't know much about the court, it seems like the monks of the Mandate kind of just tut at emperors and empresses who start doing unfortunate things. But you guys, now that you know about the mantle, you realize that the monks of the Mandate are actually the caretakers of the mantle. And that they are likely the ones that administer the ceremonies, or at least the various rituals that keep the mantle functional.
That'd actually be a really good point. If the Black Summoner is taking the punishment for the Emperor.
Yeah.
That'd explain why he's unconscious. And no one's really seen him to see if he's got things written on him.
So that you could mention that to her and ask if that is possible for the punishments to be given to someone else. Or if there's been ever an historical example of this.
She made mention of something that sounded like it was a plausible thing that she... Oh,
yeah, she did mention that they thought that the Emperor might have discovered some kind of mechanism to set the curse to someone else. Which is why they are coming to you, voices of the pillars, to help restore the mantle and make sure that it is safe and strong. So, anything more you want to discuss, or do you want to start talking with her?
I think we can start talking again.
Yeah.
Okay. As audio returns, she opens her eyes and uncups her ears. And she says, "What have you decided to speak to me of, then?"
Well, we do know a lot about the mantle, and we are aware that the Emperor may not be fit to wield it any longer. But we also understand that one cannot simply take the mantle and trade it to someone else unwillingly.
She nods.
But it seems like temporarily it might be possible to wield the mantle, for someone else to have the mantle as well.
She considers it and she says, there have been multiple instances of history where a mantle has been shared, usually between an ailing emperor and empress and their heir, if the heir is too young to do the ritual unassisted. There is precedent for the mantle being shared.
Does the Emperor have to willingly share it?
No. She just kind of looks at you intently, trying to. I think she might have figured out what you're getting at. She goes, "Who would be sharing the burden?" She scans the room.
I mean, makes sense for Lolara because she's on the Regency Council.
Hmm.
Or the
Aren't we
foremost
all
honors.
though? I thought.
No, I guess we will be.
We will be, but Alara seems a good fit, and we can also share it to more later if we think it's wise to spread it out.
If anyone here is going into the politics, I think it's her. Maybe Timos.
I would take it.
Do you say that out loud? To her?
Yes.
Okay. She looks at Tiamos, kind of her eyes seem to be trying to see deeper into Tiamos, and then she eventually nods and she says, "I believe you have the fortitude to survive the trials."
It was something that we were considering perhaps splitting amongst ourselves until the current heir is old enough to undertake the burden.
She nods.
It's really a matter of physical fortitude. I mean, we have...
It is
bird.
physical and mental.
Okay.
It is something that is difficult to explain.
Character levels. It's character levels.
No, just awaken the bird and she's fine.
That's. I mean, you have to roll the... You have to see what you end up with.
I don't know how it works.
I would love it if you guys just start
you roll
splitting the
3d6
mantle,
for each
and
tab.
you're just like, okay, the monkey gets part of the mantle, the bird gets part of the mantle, everyone gets part of the mantle.
Oh, we're going down to the streets for like you get a part of the mantle. You get a part of the... Everybody gets a part of the mantle.
Everyone gets a part of the mantle!
Yeah.
That'd be probably bad.
Probably bad. Like you really like
Definitely bad.
it's like vaccines. It's like vaccines. You get them as a kid, and there's like the anti-vax movement. They're like, no, you can't give my kid the mantle. No.
Oh, God. All right.
Nope.
Okay.
So can we do a Can we do a quick
Yep.
silence?
Yep.
Sorry.
She can go back. She just floats into a corner.
Should
She and
we?
the monkey are getting some good one-on-one time, though.
We should.
Really connecting.
Do we feel confident to tell her about why we really want the mantle? Which is to get into the vault
That's a good idea.
to fight the Phoenix Queen. Because
I thought you meant like our actual, like, the plan.
wait, what's our actual plan? What's your plan?
The you mean I mean like the going into the vault.
No, that's not what you were talking about. What's your plan?
That is what I was talking about.
Didn't seem like it.
Because you also have that other plan of splitting the mantle up real fine and give it to it like...
Motzkus is gonna do a sense motive on TMOs.
Yes.
Okay.
You're no prince. You can't win this contest.
Shit's getting real.
Okay, so Matt, what?
Yeah. That is,
What?
that is actually what I was thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It didn't. It super didn't seem like it. Like
Sorry.
it
sounded
super
so
seemed like you
suspicious
slipped.
the way you said it.
You're like, oh yeah, the plan, that horrible plan that we shouldn't tell people about. And we're like, what? What are you talking about?
I mean, we really shouldn't tell people we're going in the vault, but yeah.
Yeah.
But the monks of the mandate care about the well-being. They might be a useful ally.
They might be an incorrigible gossip, though.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
them. Something about them. I don't know.
Has something new been added to the vault since the Emperor went nuts? You don't actually know because only the Emperor and likely the Emperor's hands would know what has been put into the vault. The voice doesn't even know what's in the vault to begin with.
Dang. It's a good vault.
It's the best vault in
I gotta
the
get me one of those.
The best vault money can buy.
Okay. Thinking something new might. Okay. True.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah. The crown is down there, and that's giving some exposure.
Yeah, I think it's the crown.
Yeah, it's probably the crown.
Could he be giving the symptoms to the crown instead? Is that a thing?
Hmm.
'Cause the crown is a sentient item.
I feel like the crown might be giving it to the black summoner, but that's all conjecture at this point.
Have to be able to send the magic outside the vault, which is
Oh,
defeating
and
the point of throwing it in there.
Do you have to be-
and Lauren.
oh, I was just thinking, do you have to be willing to accept the mantle? Like, do we know that?
That would be interesting, forcing it on someone.
Well, I mean, what if that's a way to, like, I don't know, like transfer the responsibility or like share it with someone and then do something. I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Hopefully we don't mess anything. Maybe except for Lux, that'd be bad.
Okay. So, when you're ready, the monk is ready to speak.
So, recap. Do we want to tell her about it?
We have to tell. I don't remember who it was we had to talk about to actually add ourselves to the mantle. Is it these people, or
These would be the people that could help make it easier, or warn you what you would have to do.
okay, that sounds important.
Yeah.
And getting their blessing would probably be the closest thing to. Yeah, it'd probably be the closest thing to legitimacy you'd get for stealing part of the mantle.
Hey, we're not stealing. We're borrowing without asking.
You're
I mean,
more
we're
like
sharing,
Galatrix
okay?
every day.
We're sharing without asking.
Yeah, sharing without
Not
asking.
even taking the whole thing.
Not yet.
We're becoming shareholders.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So we'll talk to her about it then. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we'll unsilence her or beckon her or
Okay.
whatever we need to do.
She floats beyond the zone of silence. She knows what a zone of silence is.
Okay.
So the main reason that we want the mantle is to go into the vault, actually. And I want to read her on that.
Roll a sense motive. She's surprised and a little bit wary. And she goes, "And what would you be doing in the vault? There are many treasures and glories and things that should remain buried in there."
There's one item in particular, known as the Crown of the Phoenix Queen.
As you say that, like, you see her grimace. She says, "And you know it is in the vault?"
99% sure. And we think this is why the king is...
She makes a face like that just like shows how she's really disturbed by that idea. She seems to know about the Phoenix Queen, but probably nowhere near as much as you, because you guys actually kind of live and breathe killing that cult.
They haven't been
A little bit.
after us in a while, actually, so we're kind of lucky.
Well, you guys were really successful. And also, Sarajin was handling the aftermath.
Plus all the ones in the court kind of got all arrested. Like, it sounds like we got a pretty good rap on them. Probably taking a whole lot of innocents down with them, but, you know.
Mm. So, we are aware of the location to begin the trial, but since you are here, maybe you could assist us in this.
She nods. She says, "The Temple of Heaven." Oh, sorry. The official title, "The Temple of the Multitudes of Glorious Imperial Heavens,"
Yeah, I like the short one better.
Yeah.
is where the trial of the mantle takes place. But the trial of the mantle does not actually physically take place there. There's a portal in that temple that brings you to where the trial is. It, from my understanding, the trial is in a demi-plane connected to the palace and our plane of existence. And the demi-plane adapts to those who seek the mantle and provides them a challenge to see if they are worthy of it. Each trial that we have gotten information on has been different for each emperor and empress. And we do not know about the trials in which they have failed.
And only one can enter at a time?
Trial.
No, multiple can enter. But ultimately, we know at the end that the choice can be made as to how many will share the mantle, as we have had with the heir and the current mantle holder going in and splitting the mantle between the two of them. We do not know what happens if the mantle is split many ways. But the mantle should be resilient enough to be able to be split, especially if the Emperor willingly gives up the mantle after a short period of time.
So for now, though, we probably should stick to one or two max.
Likely, yes. Anyone who possesses the mantle will feel will be boosted in power. That is the best way I can. They will be enhanced. Their weaknesses shored up, their strengths magnified. Once one has the mantle, one moves a step closer towards divinity. Though the mantle wielder never quite reaches there. She kind of has almost like a bittersweet smile as she says that. Many emperors in the past have believed that they were getting closer to the gods. And they were. But no emperor or empress is ever a god. Do not make that mistake. The monks of the Mandate have a long history of those who believed themselves to be gods and then failed. Because meta-wise, the monks of the mandate are the ones that tell emperors if they're going off the rails. And if they are, they usually fall and die. So the monks of the mandate have a whole history of being able to see when failure is coming. But she says, if one of you will try to go to the temple, you need a token so that the guards will let you by without a fight. She thinks about it, and then she takes a necklace off of herself, like gets into her robes and takes off a necklace. It is a series of 3 crystals, each one red, one blue, one green. And she says, if you say my name and give them this necklace, they will know that you have been granted access to the temple and are not to be disturbed while in there.
All right.
This is what I can give you. I would suggest when you go that you try to do it as stealthily as possible, as it is not good for others to know that you are attempting to take the mantle.
How long does this whole thing take? Is it like a day, a week?
The time within the
hour?
demi-plane is subjective, but it is almost never more than 6 hours in real time.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your assistance. If there's anything we can do other than this to assist, please let us know.
Work towards the good of the Empire. Save as many lives as you can. And prevent the mantle from crumbling. That is what I ask.
All in a day's work.
She gives a bow. And then she kind of starts floating towards the door. You let it go?
Yep.
Okay, the door opens. You have no more visitors left.
Well,
Do you? The simulacrum comes in and he says, I felt bad because everyone else gave you a token or something. Here you go. It does nothing. Congratulations.
only the best.
That doesn't actually happen, just
Mm-hmm.
to make sure it's on the record. That was what we call in the comedy industry a bit.
Whoa. I'm so smart now.
Wow.
You're talented, Frosty.
You're welcome with a presence I grace you with.
I feel so honored.
Okay, so what? I assume you guys are going to spend the night and then teleport over to the.
Actually, is everyone ready to go from this room?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should just go right now
And get some of the mantle.
and get at least one person on that mantle.
And with that.
Shouldn't- Don't I need to get, like, the rest of my dragon stuff, though?
That's... Let me see where that is in the calendar.
It's on the schedule.
That's tomorrow.
It's on.
That's tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow that we can meet the person. No, that's fine. So yeah, we're on the Friday. On Saturday, we can meet the Twilight Keeper.
Cool.
But we can go today. It has been too long, I don't think.
It's been like, what, the
Okay,
morning?
so you guys are going to try to get the mantle.
I think that's the
Okay.
best thing to do now.
You're pretty sure that once you get the mantle, the Emperor's going to know something's happening. Because he's connected to the mantle. So effectively, are you going to disappear, get the mantle, disappear out of the capital, and then go to the ritual site, do the Black Summoner thing, and then only return to the capital once you have sufficient firepower?
I guess so.
I mean, let me think.
You're the scheduler right now, so
I've got the schedule.
Actually, let's try to make sure that... can I do this shareable link? Copy link. And who doesn't have the calendar?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just trusting in Frosty. I believe in him.
Okay.
You believe in me
Okay.
with the ledger, I believe in you with the calendar.
So tomorrow, or sorry, today, I guess next session though, we'll do the mantle ritual. The day after, all we've got is the Twilight Keeper to meet. Sunday is completely blank. Monday, we have to do the Black Summoner and the Amulet of Talmach. And Tuesday, the war starts.
Woo!
Also, this is important that I've set up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, so that you can say when we're fighting the Black Summoner's demon thing, we can say, "God, I hate Mondays." It's important. So we can actually fit in like, I don't know, whatever we want on this Sunday. We could do anything we want. And it's contest. No,
I mean,
Bald Run?
we all know Akane would win that, so
Yeah,
That's true.
the princess isn't in the party anymore. No,
exactly. The board was especially happy for that specific reason.
So are you actually going to try to put the bird on the mantle?
Oh, I don't think so.
Corruptible bird?
Unless
Probably
unless
not,
we
no.
awaken her, then no. And if I awaken her, I can't have her as a pet, so that's kind of shitty for me as a player.
Let's see what's home rule around it. Or can you just take something else as a pet? Find a random
Actually,
squirrel, shoot.
Akane getting a little bit of the divine from the mantle would become Akane, the divine beast.
Oh, that'd be sick.
But then again, you'd have to convince everyone else that Akane is...
I mean, Akane is probably the most important member of the party, let's be honest. Other than the monkey. That monkey is a goddamn hero.
Okay, so, since you guys want to go straight for the mantle after this, I will end the session here so that I can prepare, well, all the mantle stuff. And characters will have to be leveled to 13 before you do the mantle stuff because that shit's gonna need levels, okay? Now, otherwise, what, are we all good? Are we
I think I'm
set?
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know the session was very much talky, but it's setting up a series of horrifically combat-heavy sessions.
Yes. Excellent.
Also, there's a lot of names, I know. I didn't throw nearly as many names at you as I could have, but there are names. So, good night, stream.
Bye, stream.